My name is Stephanie Hobbs, and I am a union-side labor lawyer at Goldblatt Mitchell. A lot of my practice is, well, almost all of it actually, is litigation focused. We represent trade unions and some individuals, but for the most part, I act for unions, different tribunals, including the Human Rights Tribunal and the Labor Board. The clinic was like a revelation to me. I wasn't a very enthusiastic law student until I came to the clinic. I was really surprised when I came to law school that a lot of my classmates, and it certainly felt, like almost all of my classmates, were very focused on corporate law. And I had, I had a sense that there were a few like-minded individuals who were also at law school for the same or similar reasons to me, but ultimately I felt like we were really in the minority. And then when I went to Parkdale and started there from the very beginning, it was like a light went off, and I thought, oh, there is a way to do legal work and to practice law in a way that feels meaningful, and there are lots of other people. All of a sudden, I was not in the minority anymore. I was surrounded by other people who were drawn to law for the same reasons that I had been.
My name's Nathan Higgins, and I was at Parkdale in 2009 and 2010. The time that I first heard about the clinic would have been when I was looking into law schools and applying, and the Parkdale program just really stood out for me from what I read about it in Osgood's literature. And then once I was actually at Osgood, just talking to people in my first year about the program and hearing really great things. During my first year of law school, I felt like, what have I done? What am I doing here? This is not for me. But then I started at Parkdale and, was fortunate enough to meet great people during my 3 terms. So just having such a solid group in immigration and in SABA to work with was incredible. And I do feel like that's, you make alliances that are going to last well into the future.
The reason I went to law school in the first place was because I wanted to try to use law to do social justice work. And Parkdale was the first place I actually saw that in action. I knew in theory that was possible, but it was incredibly refreshing to actually get to learn from people who were putting that into practice. And I carry that motivation with me to today, and I continue to want to use law to affect social change.
I actually lived near Parkdale prior to coming to law school, and then throughout law school. Not actually in Parkdale proper. I guess we were probably inside the catchment area, but a little bit further east. I knew that Parkdale was sort of a low-income neighborhood, and I knew that it was home to a lot of new Canadians, a lot of psych survivors.
I knew it was a very diverse community. I knew that there was a lot of poverty. I knew that there were, that people were facing serious legal issues, but I knew those things in the abstract. I didn't really necessarily know what that looked like in a sort of day-to-day way.
I actually didn't know much about the Parkdale community until I started working at the clinic. I learned some. I guess I'd passed through the community, but it's much different when you're actually working with community members and getting to know it that way. So I think I was very impressed with its diversity and its vibrancy once I started working at the clinic.
What I didn't realize, I think, was I didn't understand, I didn't appreciate until I was there the role that the community plays at the clinic in terms of shaping the direction that the clinic, that the clinic takes and the way that it's grown. But also I didn't appreciate the sort of deep integration of the clinic and the community legal work aspect that happens, and the sort of the really I think the clinic at this point is an integral part of Parkdale.
I'd heard, like maybe some of the more negative things or disconcerting things about the area of the city, just in that it was, low income, marginalized to that extent, which is certainly true. But then when you spend more time there and meet people from there, you realize there's just such an array of stories, and so it's you get a much more complex and more complete picture.
I found pretty much everyone I worked with to be incredibly gracious and appreciative of the work that I did.
It's funny, students come and go, but the community is there. And I think that people end up coming to the clinic as students and being really shaped by it.
Lawyers know that PCLS serves as a really great training ground for law students. It gives people a fantastic opportunity to do advocacy at an early stage in their legal education. And I think that the people who graduate from PCLS really have a leg up in that sense. They get a head start developing those skills. And I think that PCLS's reputation follows people through their careers too.
I couldn't say enough about how much I enjoy going to work every day.